Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Ronan, and I am the head of talent acquisition for G42. I'm here today with my colleagues, Niranjan and Rhency, to share with you how at G42 we are redefining human capital through the utilization and the adoption of AI tools and processes and systems. So if I move on to our first slide. So we are embedding AI technology right across the human capital ecosystem to allow us to enable our people right across the group. That from talent acquisition through to human capital services, talent management, learning and development, total rewards, digital HR, and the entire process. Moving to talent acquisition, which is my area, we've done a number of things over the last year or two to really embed AI technology and systems right through our process and value chain. One of the things that AI really does for talent acquisition and the way it makes us much more effective and efficient is it allows us time to be more strategic and focus on strategic value-add activities. So if we take sourcing, for example, sourcing was a very operational and admin-heavy exercise. Sourcing teams the world over spent a lot of time reviewing incoming applications, sometimes in their thousands, in order to filter through to very effective shortlists for hiring managers. What AI has enabled us to do is filter very quickly, analyze large data sets of CVs and applications, which then allows us to be efficient in the presentation of effective shortlists and CVs that actually match the requirements of the business and hiring managers. So sourcing people can be much more effective and spend more time engaging with top talent across the globe. So if we look at the value chain, the talent acquisition value chain, sourcing then leads on to screening and selection. This is another area where we have embedded AI technology which allows us to give a great candidate experience by enabling candidates to interact with best-in-class technologies and also allowing us to give hiring managers and the business community and colleagues a great experience as well and a seamless experience. Recruitment operations, I think, has been a huge beneficiary of AI talent as well and the tools that we have used to enable that, from interview scheduling to interaction with candidates, to offer management, and to things as simple as job description creation, interview notes, and anything that just makes us more efficient and more accurate. Offer and onboarding preparation, I think we have seen our ability to use AI bots to actually interact with candidates, to provide crucial information with regard to documentation that's required, administrative exercises that need to be attended to. And I think feedback has shown that we're getting good responses from candidates and that the approach is something of a unique approach and something that's keeping in spirit of being a top AI company globally. And then importantly, I think metrics and optimization, I think, is one of the key things that has benefited from the use of AI technology and tools and systems as well, in that we're now able to analyze really efficient, good data, which enables us to improve our processes, improve our efficiency, our effectiveness, right throughout the value chain. And this, I think, enables hiring managers to make quicker decisions with regard to recruitment and to resource their teams more effectively. So I think to pivot to the actual technologies involved and how we are embedding these into our processes, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Niranjan. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronan. Thank you, everyone. Good afternoon. So to start with what we've done in terms of our technologies within the human capital space is when we started to even design the entire architecture around it, we started with thinking, what is that key data that we need to look at? we have taken employee experience as the core forefront in terms of our decision making. And taking employees' experience as the core focus, what we have gone back and done is the infrastructure layer is where you have all the foundation systems, all your traditional HRMS and service desks and all the other aspects of base technologies that we have, which forms the system of records, is where we have the infrastructure layer in place. Again, while we started with this exercise of building that infrastructure layer, one of the key focuses that we have looked at is not to overcomplicate the systems that we are putting together, keep it as simple as a process from a user's perspective, as well as knowing what are the key insights that you need to capture in these data models, and then use that in the future use cases of leveraging the insights from the insight layer as well as the AI. So we have, the way we have structured our tech stack is the foundation layer or the infrastructure layer. And then on top of that, we've got the data layer where all your insights gets integrated into a data lake, and using that for decision making and giving that experience to the employees. While building the infrastructure layer, a few focus areas that we've looked at is to ensure that the data points that are required to be captured to help in those decision making in the future are all captured as part of that infrastructure layer. And then using our partner applications, which are either inbuilt, and some of them that we have procured from the external markets, are helping us build that AI use cases and agents in place to automate most of the repeated stuff, a part of which was spoken by Ronan, be it our recruiting and talent acquisitions processes. Some of them are in terms of our people analytics space of things, where we have most of the use cases that's helping any leader, any manager, any employee get the information from human capital perspective at a fingertips. So as we look at the entire foundation systems and the AI layer, we've got right from recruitment sourcing until the exit when employees retire from the organization. Every touch point has been, with the use of technology, we've automated it. And be it the internal branding, as you can see here, are our Omni Hub, Omni Desk, Omni Workforce Insights, MAG, Zaphod, and Sirius, which are all the modules that we have in place. Omni Hub and Omni Desk are the infrastructure system where we have your HR records as well as the service desks, and the manpower planning tool, the learning and development, which my colleague Rhency will speak more about. Right. Using AI in every touch point has resulted us in the ability to enhance the experience of the users, reduce the time that takes for us to be able to serve our customers, and provide that great employee and candidate experience. To speak more about the learning and development and Zaphod in detail, I hand it over to Rhency.
Thank you, Niranjan. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Amazing. Okay, so my name is Rhency. I lead the people experience and people growth for G42. So at G42, and we know like the technology landscape is changing really, really fast. So we understand at G42 that in order for us to continue our success, that we have to continuously focus on our collective capabilities and continuously developing the collective capabilities of the different entities within G42. This is where you see Zaphod as our growth academy actually came to life. So Zaphod as a growth academy at G42 is basically our enterprise-wide capability accelerator. So we are our organization that are focusing more and more on skill building. So we know that the future of work is no longer about like job roles. We know that the future of work is now all about skills. It's not about the jobs that you have. It's about the skills that you can bring to the table. So gone are those days that you think about your titles and job roles and whatnot, but regardless of your job roles, it's how do you build the capability of people in different skills. So this is where our Zaphod Growth Academy comes into life, because our goal is to make sure that everyone in the organization across the group has access to learning anytime, anywhere, and that we focus on skills that are very important to the organization's success in the future. And as you can see over here, this Growth Academy has 3 pillars. In order to bring this to life, to make sure that we have this continuous learning and continuous reinvention of employees across the group on a year-to-year basis, we want to make sure that we, in our Leadership Learning Center, we develop the leadership capabilities of people in different levels in the organization. We also have the AI Learning Center. So AI Learning Center is, we want to make sure that people are not only knowledgeable about AI, people also has the creativity to use technology to one's advantage to make sure that works not only get done faster, but more efficiently as well. And then the last one, the last learning center for us is called Human Potential. Human Potential is all about developing the human skills, but at the same time, the functional skills across the different functions within the organization. So learning at G42 is basically an ecosystem. So we are not an organization who just look at learning as, you know, a training provider in the organization. Learning for us is basically embedded in how people work on a day-to-day basis so that they are continuously learning, applying, and sharing the learning across the organization. So as you can see here, our learning is part of the ecosystem where at the heart of everything is what we call the Talent Intelligence Hub, where everything gets pushed into that so that on real-time basis, people know what are the skill sets that are required for their particular job role. And these things are dynamic and they're ever evolving. So people would know also how are they going to be progressing into their career. So whether it's laterally, vertically, horizontally, diagonally, or even in circles. Because these days, like when you talk about career, people talk about, you know, their career in different areas, right? Gone are those days when people think about vertical movement only within the organization. For a group like us at G42, we have so many different entities, and we want to make sure that we capture the skills of people and then help and enable organizations and people to understand where their skill levels are and what can they do in order for them to move forward in their career at G42. Because at the end of the day, when an organization not just invest in learning and development of people, you are actually investing in the transformation of people and in the organization as well. Thank you. I was told we have time, so if you have any questions, please. Yeah.
Thank you. This is Yasser from SAB. So I'm wondering, like, G42 have many entities in different sectors, different industries. Like, can you give examples now? How you like attract the talent, like from this entity to that entity, and internal move? Like, I need like couple like examples, like how you utilize the AI features or the system features as well to move people, and you maybe bring this person from this company to that company, or this department to that.
Yeah. So at G42, at a group level, we take into account the internal talent pool for every job opening that we have. So all of our vacancies are advertised internally as well as externally, and the internal population can apply to that vacancy and can be then considered through the same process as the external market. So we were therefore able to leverage the AI technologies that we use to analyze the external database in terms of skills, experience, culture fit, those kind of things, and apply it to the internal pool as well. So thereby enabling us to take best talent from both the internal and the external marketplace. I think we're doing quite a bit to develop our internal mobility process and policy. I suppose we're a maturing organization. We still have some work left to do to probably bring that up to a best in global standard, but it's something that is a priority for us.
I wish you all the best and happy to support you.
Thank you.
Can I just add also, like what I mentioned earlier about Talent Intelligence Hub. So we are at the moment in the phase where we really are building the foundation of becoming a skill-based organization. So we, with what we have now in our Zaphod Growth Academy, we want to make sure that all the skills are identified for each job family, so that like organizations in different parts of the business, managers alike, even HR, will be able to see what are the skills needed for a particular move of an organization. Instead of focusing on purely on the job role, we want to identify what skills are needed in order for this project to become successful. And then from there, we help continue to build the skills of people within the organization, so that we're not just dependent on a role, but we want to really look at what are the skills needed in order to complete those projects successfully.
Last one, like how you enforce the employee to upload these skills? Because in the end, I have a couple of skills, you don't know what I have. So how you encourage the staff to upload these skills, to manage their profiles and so on?
That's a really good question. I think at G42, the mindset is we treat people like adults. So we don't want to force people to apply the skills, because what we want is we enable people with the resources that we're providing them, and then we support them if needed. But I think when it comes to encouraging them, I think all the technology when it comes to enablement are there. The support from HR, the support from manager are also there. But at the same time, I think it's also creating that environment where people are allowed to experiment and try new things. As a technology company, we cannot get everything right for the first time and get everything perfect for the first time, so that you actually see a lot of experimentation. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you.
I wanted to know if the Zaphod Growth Academy is also available to G42 companies like M42, Preside.
We would like to have all the G42 companies like to be onboarded. Like at the moment, yes, the vision is there. The vision is for all the G42 companies to be onboarded on our Zaphod Growth Academy, because in order for us to really work together as one collective, we need to make sure that everyone in the organization, all 25,000, 30,000 employees across the group, have access to learning anytime, anywhere, and focus on skills that are really important to the success of the organization.
Thank you.
Yes.
So my question is, Gen Z, they were born into this era of AI. I think to an extent millennials also, they are okay, they are fine to use AI tools. But how easy or difficult was it to convince probably the older generation in our company to use AI tools, or have we faced any difficulties that way?
Thank you for the question. So being an AI organization, I think the challenge for us was limited because most of our users were well-versed with AI. So the adoption in terms of the users having to use our systems was not a bigger challenge. Right, but
Yeah. But what's that?
the user adoption for the older.
But also, I mean, I had people experience, right? So it's all about creating that experience that allow people to also experiment and have fun with the system. Because systems can be really scary, right? So who here actually are frightened to actually use any system? If I am an Android user, if you ask me to use iPhone, forget it. But like, if you make it fun and interactive, that's why there are campaigns, there are activations that we do on a regular basis to make sure that people actually get to enjoy some of these things with other people.
Yeah. As Rhency mentioned, we are setting the processes simplified in a way and actually build a use case of why they should use it. It's not that we are forcing them to use it, give them a reason to use it and build that experience, as Rhency mentioned, making it simplified. That helps us with adoption as well.